Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Ganda Radha Ganta Namostute Tapta Kanchan Gorangi Radhe Vrindaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. बोलो श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की जय।
जय
बोलो श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय।
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा जय। हरे कृष्णा प्रभु। Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare Krishna Jai Prabhu. Right. Let's get started. तो कल हम लोग पांचवा अध्याय शुरू करे थे 9th कैंटो का, और जैसा कि हम लोग जान रहे हैं 9th कैंटो इज ऑल अबाउट डायनेस्टी ऑफ करंट मनु। या और अभी कौन है मनु? प्रेजेंट मनु इज व्हाट्स द नेम?
Vivaswan.
Yeah, Vivaswat Manu. Yeah, Vivasman is Vivaswat Manu is the son of Vivasman Devata.
Correct.
Vivasman Devata is the Surya Dev.
Surya Dev.
And Vivaswat Manu is the son of Surya Dev. And he is the current Manu, which is the 7th Manu. And how many Manus are there in one day of Lord Brahma?
14.
14 Manus are there in one day of Lord Brahma. And this is the 7th Manu. So halfway, one day of Lord Brahma, which is 4,032 million years, right? Half of Brahma's day has passed. 7th Manu is Vivaswat Manu. What we are reading in 9th Adhyaya is about the dynasty of Vivaswat Manu. So we are reading about his sons and everyone else. So one of the sons' son, Nabhag, his son Amrish Maharaj, was a great devotee. And that's what Sukdev Goswami is reciting to Parikshit Maharaj. So Amrish Maharaj was a great devotee. And then what happened is Durvāsā Muni comes. And then Durvāsā Muni goes to Yamuna river. He comes back. But Amrish Maharaj was supposed to wait before he eats. Even though he only had water, Durvāsā Muni gets very upset about this. And then before he can do something, there is a Sudarshan Chakra which follows Durvāsā Muni. Sudarshan Chakra is protecting Amrish Maharaj. Durvāsā Muni goes to Brahmalok to Lord Brahmaji. He goes to Lord Shiva. He goes to Lord Vishnu himself. And Lord Vishnu himself directs him to go to Amrish Maharaj and ask for the excuse. He comes back to Amrish Maharaj. And then Amrish Maharaj, it's so kind, right, that he did the prayers to Sudarshan Chakra so that Durvāsā Muni can be saved, right? So what we read yesterday was really the prayers of Sudarshan Chakra. So that was so blissful. And then after that, as we know, Durvāsā Muni was saved. And then Durvāsā Muni said, I am very pleased with you, my dear king. Yeah, referring to Amrish Maharaj. At first, I thought of you as an ordinary human being and accepted your hospitality. But later, I could understand by my own intelligence that you are the most exalted devotee of the Lord. Therefore, simply by seeing you, touching your feet, and talking with you, I have been pleased and have become obliged to you. And what we are reading here is really what Durvāsā Muni is reflecting is like if you are a great devotee, Bhagavata Shave, right? You are the great devotee of Bhagwan, then just by, and that's what we see, like lot of saints who are like great devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Lord Shri Krishna and Durvāsā Muni, who is a great yogi himself, right? He says by darshan, by sparshan, yeah, by alap, and he's saying, seeing you, touching your feet, talking with you, I have been pleased and have become obliged to you. That's what Durvāsā Muni is telling to Amrish Maharaj. We'll start reading Shlok 21st, Anilji.
Karma badat metat te gayanti sahasriyo muhu kirtim param purnyam cha kirtyasyati bhuryam. All the blessed women in the heavenly planets will continuously chant about your spotless character at every moment, and the people of this world will also chant your glories continuously. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we all have heard about glories of Amrish Maharaj. Kirti param punyam cha, kirti ishyati bhuriyam, right? And the glories of Amrish Maharaj will always be there. Ajay?
Shri Shuk Uach Evam Sanirtya Rajanam Durvāsah Paritoshitah Yayo Vihai Samanyatra Brahma Lokam Hetukam. Sri Sukdev Goswami continued, thus being satisfied in all respects, the great mystic yogi Durvāsā took permission and left, continuously glorifying the king. Through the skyways he went to Brahmalok, which is devoid of agnostics and dry philosophical speculators. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Durvāsā Muni, being the powerful yogi as he is, he went to Brahmalok. After being paritoshita, after being satisfied, he goes to Brahmalok. Nice purport. Let's read this. Shiv Prabhu.
Yeah. Durvāsā Muni went back to Brahmalok through the spaceways. He did not need an aeroplane, for great mystic yogis can transport themselves from any planet to any other without any machine. There is a planet named Siddhaloka, whose inhabitants can go to any other planet because they naturally have all the perfection of yoga practice. Thus, Durvāsā Muni, the great mystic yogi, could go through the skyways to any planet, even to Brahmaloka. In Brahmaloka, everyone is self-realized, and thus there is no need of philosophical speculation to come to the conclusion of the absolute truth. Durvāsā Muni's purpose in going to Brahmaloka was apparently to speak to the residents of Brahmaloka about how powerful a devotee is and how a devotee can surpass every living entity within this material world. This, the so-called Gyanis and Yogis cannot compare to a devotee. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so what we are learning really is, and what Durvāsā Muni is teaching here is, even though Durvāsā Muni was the greatest yogi, right? A devotee is always very, very powerful and so should always be respected, is what we learn from this episode. Yeah? Samvatsaro vatyagata tavati avta nagato gatah munista darshana kanksho raja abhaksho babhuva. Durvāsā Muni had left the place of Maharaj Amrish, and as long as he had not returned for 1 complete year, the king had fasted, maintaining himself simply by drinking water. Yeah. So if you remember, king drank water to break the fast. And that time Durvāsā Muni, when the Sudarshan Chakra started going behind the Durvāsā Muni. Here it says Samvatsar, that is almost a year, right? Durvāsā Muni did not come back, but Amrish Maharaj was fasting for the whole year because he did not want to eat till he served Durvāsā Muni. Yeah, that's a kind of dedicated devotee Amrish Maharaj was. Anilji?
गतेयत दुर्वाससि सोऽम्बरीशो द्विजोपयोगाति पवित्रमाहरत ऋषेर्विमोक्षं व्यसनं च वीक्ष्य मैने स्ववीर्य च परानुभावम्. After 1 year, when Durvāsā Muni had returned, King Amrish sumptuously fed him all varieties of pure food, and then he himself also ate. When the king saw that the Brahman Durvāsā had been released from the great danger of being burned, he could understand that by the grace of the Lord, he himself was also powerful. But he did not take any credit, for everything had been done by the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so even Amrish Maharaj didn't realize that, he was so powerful that he could request Sudarshan Chakra, right, to not do any harm to Durvāsā Muni. Says here, Mane Swavirya Cha Paranubhavam. So that's what it says, like the devotees of the Lord are so powerful, right, that but they don't take any credit for it, as they always believe everything has been done by the Lord himself, is what is mentioned. Again, a very nice purport. So read this, Ajay.
Yeah. A devotee like Maharaj Amrish is certainly always busy in many activities. Of course, the material world is full of dangers that one has to meet, but a devotee, because of his full dependence on Supreme Personality of Godhead, is never disturbed. The vivid example is Maharaja Amrish. He was the emperor of the entire world and had many duties to perform. And in course of these duties, there were many disturbances created by persons like Durvāsā Muni. But the king tolerated everything patiently, depending fully on the mercy of the Lord. The Lord, however, is situated in everyone's heart. Sarvasya chaham hidi sannavista, and he manages things as he desires. Thus, although Maharaj Amrish was faced with many disturbances, the Lord, being merciful to him, managed things so nicely that in the end Durvāsā Muni and Maharaja Amrish became great friends and parted cordially on the basis of Bhakti Yoga. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What is being mentioned here is a devotee, because he is always fully dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is never disturbed. What is mentioned? Shiva Prabhu?
After all, Durvāsā Muni was convinced of the power of Bhakti Yoga, although he himself was a great mystic yogi. Therefore, as stated by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 6.47, Yoginam api sarvesam mad gate nan taratamana shraddhavan bhajate yo mam same yuktatamo mataha. Of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. Thus, it is a fact that a devotee is the topmost yogi, as proved in the dealings of Maharaj Ambarish with Durvāsā Muni. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So even in Bhagavad Gita, what is being mentioned is, Lord Krishna himself says, who is the topmost yogi? Yeah, the topmost yogi is the devotee, Shraddhavan bhajate yo mam. Right? Intimately, then they get united with me in yoga and is the highest of all, is what Lord Shri Krishna himself is mentioned. Hare Krishna, Rinaji.
Hare Krishna, Riya. एवं विधानेक गुणः स राजा परात्मनि ब्रह्मणि वासुदेवे क्रियाकलापे समवाह भक्तिं यया विरिञ्च्यान् निरयांशकार. In this way, because of devotional service, Maharaj Ambarish, who was endowed with varieties of transcendental qualities, was completely aware of Brahman, Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus he executed devotional service perfectly. Because of his devotion, he thought even the topmost planet of this material world no better than the hellish planets. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so as a devotee Amrish Maharaj, right? He had anek guna and he understood par atmani, he understood Brahma, and of course he understood Vasudev himself, right? Brahma, Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudev. And based on that, Samvaha Bhaktim, so he executed devotional service perfectly. Again, a nice purport again. So we'll read this, Anilji.
An exalted and pure devotee like Maharaj Ambarish is in full awareness of Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. In other words, a devotee of Vasudeva, Krishna, is in full knowledge of the other features of the Absolute Truth. The Absolute Truth is realized in three features: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti, Sabhyate. A devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, knows everything. Vasudeva Sarvam iti. Because Vasudeva Krishna includes both Paramatma and Brahman. One does not have to realize Paramatma by the yoga system, but the devotee always thinking of Vasudeva is the topmost yogi. Yoginam api sarvesham. And as far as Gyan is concerned, if one is a perfect devotee of Vasudeva, he is the greatest Mahatma. Vasudeva sarvam iti sa Mahatma sudurlava. A Mahatma is one who has full knowledge of the absolute truth. Thus Maharaj Ambarish, being a devotee of the personality of Godhead, was in full awareness of Paramatma, Brahmana, Maya, the material world, the spiritual world, and how things are going on everywhere. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So Maharaj Amrish was the self-realized soul. He understood Brahma, right? The soul inside, then Paramatma, which is the supreme soul, super soul, and the Bhagwan himself, who is the supreme personality of Godhead. Yeah, what is mentioned here, Ajay?
Everything was known to him. Yasmin vignate sarvam evam Vasudev sarvam iti sa Mahatma sudur labha. Such a devotee does not give value to the highest value of. I'm sorry, I think I messed up. Let's read it again. Everything was known to him. Yasmin vignate sarvam evam vijnatam bhavati. Because the devotee knows Vasudev, he knows everything within the creation of Vasudev. Vasudeva sarvam iti sa Mahatma sudur labha. Such a devotee does not give much value to the highest standard of happiness within the material world. Narayana parah sarve na kutasyan bibhyati sarva gaparva ga narkesva api tulyartha darshana. Bhagavad Gita 6.17.28. Because he is fixed in devotional service, a devotee does not regard any position in the material world as important. Srila Prabhudanand Saraswati has therefore written Chaitanya Chandramarta 5. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, this shloka where it says Vasudevam Sarvam iti Se Mahatma Sudurlabha, right? This is from Bhagavad Gita 9.29 is the shlok where Lord Krishna says Bahunam Gyanvan, like after Bahunam Jamanam Ante. We have read that before also. Bahunam Jamanam Ante Gyanvan Mam Prapadate. After so many births after births, Gyanvan, who are the Gyanis, right? They think Vasudevam Sarvamiti. And that's after so many births after births, they come to Vasudev. And that's the Bhakti Yoga. Se Mahatma Sudurlabha is what Lord Krishna himself is saying. And this is how we are getting example of Amrish Maharaj, who is a greatest devotee. Let's continue reading this. Shri Prabhu.
Yeah. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati has therefore written Chaitanya Chandramrita 5, Kevalavyam Narkayate Tridashapur Akasha Pushpayate Durdantendriya Kala Sharpa Patali Protkhata Damastrayate Viswam Purna Shukhayate Vidhi Mahendradischa Kitayate Ya Karunaya Kataksha Vaibhava Vatam Tam Gauram Eva Stumaha. For one who becomes a pure devotee through devotional service to great personalities like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kaivalya, or merging into Brahman appears no better than hell. As far as the heavenly planets are concerned, to a devotee, they are like phantasmagoria or will-o'-the-wisp. And as far as yogic perfection is concerned, a devotee does not care a fig for such perfection, since the purpose of yogic perfection is achieved automatically by the devotee. This is all possible when one becomes a devotee of the Lord through the medium of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Rinaji?
श्रीशुक उवाच अथाम्बरीशस्तनयेषु राज्यं समानशीलेषु विसृज्य धीरः वनं विवेशात्मनि वासुदेवे मनो दधत् ध्वस्तगुणप्रवाहः. Srila Sukadeva Goswami continued, thereafter, because of his advanced position in devotional life, Maharaj Ambarish, who no longer desired to live with material things, retired from active family life. He divided his property among his sons who were equally as qualified, and he himself took the order of Vanprasth and went to the forest to concentrate his mind fully upon Lord Vasudeva. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vanam Vivesha Atmani Vasudeve. So Ambrish Maharaj, he was the king of the entire universe. Yeah. And then he left to Vanaprastha and to focus totally his mind upon Lord Vasudeva. Again, let's read this nice purport. Anilji?
And the pure devotee Maharaj Ambarish was liberated in any condition of life because, as enunciated by Srila Rupa Goswami, a devotee is always liberated. Iha yasya Hare dasye karmana manasa gira nikhilasav api avasthasu Jivan Mukta Sa Uchyate. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami thus instructs that if one's only desire is service to the Lord, he is liberated in any condition of life. Maharaja Ambarish was undoubtedly liberated in any condition, but as an ideal king, he accepted the Vanaprastha order of retirement from family life. It is essential for one to renounce family responsibilities and fully concentrate on the lotus feet of Vasudeva. Therefore, Maharaja Ambrish divided the kingdom amongst his sons and retired from family life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so if one's desire is to service the Lord, he doesn't need to do anything else. He is always in a liberated condition, is what is mentioned here, right? And we remember how to do the devotional service. What are the different ways of doing the
Kirtanam, Smaranam.
right? Yeah. So there are 9 different ways which we have read. Shavanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Ismaranam, Pad Sevanam, Archanam, Dasham, Sakyam, right? Atmanivedanam. So those are different ways one can keep doing the devotional service. And if one's only desire is service to the Lord, he is liberated in any condition of life, is what is being mentioned. इति एतत् पुण्यमाख्यान् नम्रीशस्य भूपते संकीर्तनयन्वन्युध्यायन भक्तो भगवतो भवेत्. Anyone who chants this narration or even thinks of this narration about the activities of Maharaj Ambrish certainly becomes a pure devotee of the Lord. Yeah, this is what Sukdev Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj, that anyone, yeah, who listens to this Ambrish narration, right? Ambrish Maharaj, Sankirtan, right? Who chants this narration, Bhakto Bhagavato Bhaveta. He becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, is what is mentioned. Ajay?
Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur herein gives a very good example. When one is very eager for more and more money, he is not satisfied even when he is a millionaire or a multimillionaire, but wants to earn more and more money by any means. The same mentality is present in a devotee. The devotee is never satisfied, thinking this is limit of my devotional service. The more he engages in the service of the Lord, the more service he wants to give. This is the position of a devotee. Maharaja Ambrish in his family life was certainly a pure devotee, complete in every respect, because his mind and all his senses were engaged in devotional service. Savai Mana Krishna Padar Vindeyor Vachamsi Vajukanta Gunanu Varnane. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Tarun.
Hare Krishna. Shari?
Yeah.
Maharaj Ambrisha was self-satisfied because all of his senses were engaged in devotional service. Sarvapadi vinir muktam tat parvatevena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktir uchyate. Nonetheless, although Maharaj Ambrisha has engaged all his senses in devotional service, he left his home and went to the forest to concentrate his mind fully at the lotus feet of Krishna, exactly as a mercantile man, even though complete in wealth, tries to earn more and more. This mentality of getting more and more engaged in devotional service puts one in the most exalted position. Whereas on the karma platform, the mercantile man who wants more and more money becomes increasingly bound and entangled. The devotee becomes increasingly liberated. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So the mentality is either you can become bound and entangled more and more and more, or you can be increasingly liberated as a devotee, is what is mentioned. Shri Prabhu.
Ambarishasya charitam ये ऋण्वन्ति महात्मनः मुक्तिं प्रयान्ति सर्वे भक्त्या विष्णोः प्रसादतः. By the grace of the Lord, those who hear about the activities of Maharaj Ambarish, the great devotee, suddenly becomes liberated or become devotee without delay. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 9th canto, 5th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Durvāsā Muni's Life Spared. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Bolo Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Jai.
Jai.
It says here, by the grace of the Lord, right? It says here, Vishnu hai prasadate, by the grace of Lord Vishnu. Those who hear Amrish Charitam, Maharaj Amrish Charitam, ye Shrinvanti Mahatmana, whoever hears it, Shrinvanti, what happens? Muktim Prayanti Te Sarve. Yeah, they get the liberation, certainly become liberated. Or Bhaktya Vishnu, they become devotees of Lord Vishnu. Yeah, become devotees without delay. And this completes the 5th chapter. Hare Krishna. So I think we'll pause here. Yeah. And tomorrow we can start the chapter 6, which is a downfall of Sobhri Muni. So this is about Sobhri Muni, who is again highest yogi. And then we see what happens and how he falls down, and then he again, understands that and then gets back to Godhead. So I think that's a nice, and again, this is all about the dynasty of Vivasvat Manu is what we are reading. So we'll pause here. We'll start 6th chapter tomorrow. And then, of course, it's Kartik month till November 15th. So this week. So till then, we'll continue to hear Damodar Stakam. So let's hear Damodar Stakam. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Sachin.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, I'm very late today.
It's okay. We'll hear the Damodar.
Gajendra Prabhu,
Yeah.
what is Dev Uthani Ekadashi?
Yeah, that's the Ekadashi today. Happy Ekadashi to everyone.
Yes, what is Dev Uthani?
It's the last Ekadashi of
विष्णु जी सो करके उठते हैं.
हाँ, बताइए रीना जी आप.
नहीं, इनको ज्यादा नहीं मालूम है, बट इतना मालूम है विष्णु जी सो करके उठते हैं.
So देव उठनी उठते हैं, भगवान
उठते हैं. ऐसा है कि वो I'm forgetting the term, but हमने सुना था कि बिफोर ये जब ये कृष्ण जी का शुरू होता है, व्हाट इज दैट, माय माइंड इज नॉट वर्किंग, आई एम अंडर द वेदर, बट श्री कृष्ण जन्माष्टमी के पहले एक कोई टर्म होता है जिसमें कि विष्णु भगवान ये
बीमार पड़ जाते हैं,
सोने चले जाते हैं.
अच्छा.
हाँ, तो कुछ दिनों के लिए, तो उसके बाद फिर वो आज के दिन वो सो करके उठते हैं, जागते हैं, ऐसा कुछ है.
ओके.
या पूरी स्टोरी हमको मालूम नहीं है, हम भूल रहे हैं थोड़ा सा. So many things happening in my mind, but yeah, I read it somewhere, but अगर आप गूगल करें तो आपको पता चल जाएगा.
ठीक है माता जी. ओके, धन्यवाद.
आज व्हाट्सएप यूनिवर्सिटी पे आया था, किसी ने भेजा था ये इसके बारे में, मैं फॉरवर्ड कर दूंगा.
यूनिवर्सिटी से ही हमको भी मिला था.
प्लीज शेयर कीजिएगा.
एक्चुअली बताते हैं कि आज का दिन बहुत ही शुभ होता है, तो इसके लिए शादियां बहुत होती हैं अपनी तरफ. आज के दिन कोई मतलब मुहूर्त निकलवाने की जरूरत नहीं है, ये परमानेंट मुहूर्त है.
आज तो तुलसी विवाह भी है ना,
तुलसी
आज ही है ना. ओके.
देखिए, बोलते हैं कि लॉर्ड विष्णु अवेकनिंग फ्रॉम अ 4 month slumber.
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा. गजेंद्र प्रभु, कभी अपन इस बात पर भी, वेरियस एकादशी पर भी अपन चर्चा करेंगे.
Yeah, we can. we can, like every time in Ekadashi, every Ekadashi has a meaning.
Yes.
There's a reason for each Ekadashi. And
Yes.
I mean, of course, Nirjala Ekadashi has the, but every Ekadashi, if you read, you will see why that Ekadashi is so important. And
Yes,
it's
Prabhuji.
always an auspicious day. The most important part is this is the Kartik month and Ekadashi. It's a great time to read Srimad Bhagavatam, to do the chanting, right? And to even hear the Damodar Astakam, right? So let's hear Damodar Astakam. And then we will talk. You're seeing the screen, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
moksham vadeva nachanyanvriham parishadapiva varam devam moksham vadeva nachanyanvriham parishadapiva idam deva puranatapala sadame manasya virashtam kimande idam deva puranatapala sadame manasya virashtam kimande Vedante mukham bhojanatyantanile Vritam kundaleshtaraknaishchagopya Vedante mukham bhojanatyantanile Vritam kundaleshtaraknaishchagopya Muhuschamritam bimbarakataram me Manasya virastam malam lakshalabhay Muhuschamritam bimbarakataram me Manasya virastam malam lakshalabhay Namo Devada Modananda Vishnu Prasida Navoduka Jalakimana Namo Devada Modananda Vishnu Prasida Navoduka Jalakimana Kripa-drishyati nirmano Grihashavamagnyamrigashirisha Kripa-drishyati nirmano Grihashavamagnyamrigashirisha Tata prema bhakti namayacha Namo kshetrahom mesti namo dareha Tata prema bhakti namayacha Namo kshetrahom mesti namo dareha Sudame Sudaditidame Svadiyaraya Vishwasyadame Namaste Sudame Sudaditidame Svadiyaraya Vishwasyadame Namo Radhikaya Namo Namo Devaya Punya Namo Radhikaya Priyaya Namo Nandani Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Bolo Shri Radhe Damodar Bhagwan ki
Jai.
Jai.
Krishna. So very auspicious month of Kartik. It's mentioned that whatever devotional service you do in Kartik month multiplies by hundreds of numbers. So that's why this is most auspicious month. We have few more days remaining of Kartik month. I think it's till November 15th. You can do some chanting, We read Srimad Bhagavatam, which is really nice. And you also hear Damodar's come. Yeah. So we'll meet tomorrow. And then I think we are just discussing earlier. Thanksgiving week is starting. So after tomorrow, we'll probably take a break for, I think, almost 2 to 3 weeks for the Thanksgiving. And then get back in second week of December. But we'll meet tomorrow at 9:30. Yeah. And then we'll discuss more. So see you tomorrow, 9:30. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
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 Hare Krishna.